Hey guys, I know I'm coming to you guys late with this Monday Night Raw review, but I wanted to give a Raw review for tonight's show, the Monday Night Raw after Money in the Bank. And now, before I start, I just want to say this Monday Night Raw was fucking awesome. This Raw was great. It had excitement for once. Great show. That's all I'm going to say to begin with, and I'll explain why. So, yeah, just start off the show. It was great. Raw was great this week. Shout out to the crowd in Hartford, Connecticut. You guys were, at least I think it was either in Hartford, Connecticut or somewhere in Connecticut, but either way, you guys were fucking awesome. Kudos to you guys. So, the reason why, so I'm just gonna start going, guys. So, to start off the show, we had Triple H and Stephanie McMahon come out and talk about Seth Rollins winning the Money in the Bank contract and John Cena winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Then John Cena comes out, says that he will let Daniel Bryan have a match with him since the Authority won't let him. And then the Authority was trying to suck up to John Cena, so the Authority showed that John Cena is on the WWE 2K15 video game cover. And all I gotta say is that the cover looked terrible. The cover last year with The Rock on it was great. The cover before that was CM Punk on the WWE 2K13 cover. That was great. The cover this year with Cena just looks terrible. I mean, Cena looks constipated. The cover for next year's video game looks like dog shit. I'll probably still buy the game, but it looks like shit. The cover looks like shit. But, so John Cena's on the new WWE 2K15 cover. The cover looked terrible. Then Triple H tells John Cena that he will be in a Fatal 4-Way WWE World Heavyweight Championship match at Battleground, since that John Cena was smart-mouthing the Authority and all that, so yeah, and the three contestants who John Cena will face in the Fatal 4-Way are Kane, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, yeah, it was a pretty good opening to the show. I liked that Seth Rollins came out. While Cena was there, just to kind of scare John Cena a little bit. I thought that was kind of cool. So, yeah. And then up next we had the Money in the Bank winner, Seth Rollins versus Rob Van Dam. Very good match to start off Raw. Both were in the Money in the Bank match, so they were pretty beat up after the Money in the Bank ladder match because they both took some pretty nasty falls in that ladder match. So both were in the ladder match. So there was not many high flying moves, but they still had a good match. And Rob Van Dam was attacking. Rob Van Dam was attacking Seth Rollins back for most of the match until Seth Rollins did his curb stomp finisher and won the match. And then next, I just want to say I like this new rivalry of Rusev versus Jack Swagger. It's basically Russia. It's Russia versus America, and having Lana and Zeb Coulter as the managers for each side is good. And I mean, I was wondering when Coulter and Swagger would come out and respond to Lana and Rusev, because Lana and Rusev are part of the Russian Federation and they're always talking trash about America. So it was only a matter of time before the real Americans responded. But I really like this new feud. I think it's a great new rivalry between Jack Swagger and Rusev. Hopefully they'll get something out of it, but I really liked it so far. And then next we had the Usos and Sheamus versus the Wyatt family. And the Wyatt family won. All in all, I just gotta say it was a good, aggressive tag team match. So, nothing really to complain about in this match. And then Bo Dallas came out and asked us to be quiet for Bad News Barrett and Daniel Bryan, who are injured and can't compete. All in all, I just gotta say it was stupid. It was a stupid promo. I don't believe in Bo Dallas. I just don't believe in that bullshit he does. I mean, it's just stupid. I don't like Bo Dallas. He's not very good. So, get a new gimmick, because your gimmick sucks, buddy. And then after that we had Nikki Bella versus Naomi. Versus Naomi and Cameron because Stephanie McMahon wanted to get revenge on Nikki Bella and all that. So Naomi and Cameron won. It was a dumb match. But afterwards, Cameron and Naomi started shoving each other, so it looks like the Funkadactyls are splitting up. Boo fucking who, I don't give a shit. But hopefully those two will have a good Diva match sometime down the road. So yeah, the Funkadactyls are pretty much splitting up. And then oh, sorry about that, guys. I just got a text message, so please excuse that. It scared the shit out of me. But and then unfortunately we got some bad news. That wasn't bad. That was not good at all. So Bad News Barrett is out for the next few months because of the separated shoulder injury he got from Jack Swagger. So thanks a lot, Jack Swagger. You're costing Bad News Barrett his Intercontinental Championship, and you're keeping him out of action for a couple of months now. So yeah, Bad News Barrett is out for the next few months because of a separated shoulder, and he is getting vacated of the Intercontinental Championship. They will have a battle royal at Battleground to determine the new champion. So look forward to that, guys. But yeah, though, really too bad that Bad News Barrett is out. I wish him a speedy recovery, and I hope he comes back better than ever and delivers more bad news to us. And then next we had Cesaro versus Kofi Kingston. I didn't care for this match. I skipped it, but apparently Kofi won, and then Cesaro attacked him after the match, but I don't really care. And then after that, Damien Sandow came out as Mr. McMahon, which was actually pretty funny. I thought it was actually pretty funny. And Damien Sandow had a good personation of Vince McMahon, and said he inserted himself in the Battleground Battle Royal. Then Stephanie McMahon comes on the Titantron, all pissed off that Damien Sandow was making fun of Vince McMahon, and then she sends out the Great Khali, and the Great Khali beats Damien Sandow. So pretty much, Damien Sandow was making fun of Mr. McMahon and was actually doing a good job at it, and then Stephanie McMahon buried Sandow. So congratulations, Stephanie, your first burial of a superstar. So, yeah, she buried Sandow by having him lose to Khali. What the hell? And now this was where the surprises happened for Monday Night Raw. They had so many people return, it was great. Then The Miz returned to Raw and had an okay promo about being a heel, had an okay heel promo, saying how he's going to prove us all wrong, and that he was back from filming his movie, that he's a movie star, but he wants to headline WrestleMania again, yada yada yada, the typical Miz bullshit. And then he gets interrupted by a surprise return of Y2J, Chris Jericho. So Chris Jericho returned, and Chris Jericho shut up The Miz with a code breaker, which was pretty good to see. But then a surprise attack. The Wyatt family surprise attacks Chris Jericho, which will now set up a feud between Chris Jericho and the Wyatt family, which should be great. Chris Jericho just needs to get two other people, or we'll just see where it goes from there. But either way, it was great to see The Miz and Chris Jericho back. I don't really care much for The Miz, but it was great seeing Chris Jericho back. And then we had Fandango versus Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler finally wins a match, even if Summer Rae distracted Fandango by kissing Ziggler. Whatever. I don't care. Ziggler finally won a match, and he might even have a new girlfriend now. I don't know. But glad that Ziggler finally won a match. And then we had Rybaxel versus Stardust and Goldust. I didn't care. I skipped to this part. And now here's another surprise return. Paige comes out and says how she has proven all the other divas wrong as the Divas Champion, and she's here to stay and not go back to NXT and all this. Then AJ Lee makes a surprise return, and AJ says she was the longest reigning Divas Champion, and how that got to her head, which cost her the Divas Championship. And then she congratulates Paige on winning the title, but then Paige is like, "You think I'm gonna fall for what I did to you at WrestleMania last year?" Basically, Paige was not falling for it, and that she knew what AJ was up to, and how she did not want to have a match with AJ. Well, then they end up having a match on Raw tonight for the Divas Championship, which I actually kind of disagree with. I mean, I was fine with AJ coming back, I thought that was great, but too soon though for a championship title match, because they just made Paige look like a wimp again. Again, bad booking by the WWE for Paige. They should have had Paige versus AJ at Battleground. That they didn't go with that. They had AJ versus Paige on Raw tonight, and it was a pretty dumb match. I mean, it was a pretty weak match. And so AJ is the new Divas Champion. And now here's my question. With AJ back, will CM Punk return now? And I mean, I wish I had more time, guys. I would tell you guys some hilarious memes I found online. This one that had CM Punk's face and it said, talking to AJ because they're married, he was like saying, "You're a liar, you told me you were out getting milk for the baby," and all that. It was just so fucking funny. It was hilarious. Excuse my language, but it was funny. So, yeah, it's great to see AJ back. I hope she helps out the Divas division with Paige. I'm sure those two could have a better Divas Championship match than what we saw tonight. And like I said, maybe now CM Punk will return this summer with AJ back. And then next we had John Cena and Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton and Kane as the main event as a tag team match. And the match ends in a disqualification after Kane, I don't know what he did. He did something to John Cena which made it a disqualification. And then Kane gives John Cena a tombstone pile driver. And then Seth Rollins comes out, and it looked like Seth Rollins was about to cash in his Money in the Bank on John Cena when Dean Ambrose came out and started to brawl with Seth Rollins before the ref rang the bell. So don't worry, people, Seth Rollins is still the Money in the Bank holder. But yeah, though, so Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins are brawling are brawling in the stands and all that. And then while they're brawling and stuff, then Roman Reigns stops Kane with like a spear. So Roman Reigns spears Kane, and then he has an intense stare down with Triple H to end the show. All in all, great ending to a show. I was not expecting a cash-in tease that quickly by Seth Rollins, but either way, I thought it was a great way to end the show because you just never know what can happen after a pay-per-view. So just great ending to the show. And yeah, so all in all, guys, I thought Raw was great this week. Finally, an exciting and entertaining Raw, with good matches and surprise returns by The Miz, Jericho, and AJ. So I'm going to give this Raw an 8 out of 10. And like I said, the Hartford, Connecticut crowd, or wherever it was in Connecticut, you guys were great. And yeah, hope you guys liked my review. And yeah,